Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Todoist series. My name is Carl Pullein and this week I'm answering a viewer's question. Now, I don't do this very often, but this question actually comes at a time when I'm seeing this being asked a lot in my email, or questions like this. So the question I got from a gentleman called Ralph is, I'm an engineer and is often involved on working to fix an issue that involves a software vendor. So my task is resolve issue. Yet due to the back and forth nature of support, this may take many days to resolve. As a result, I am not checking anything off and the task keeps getting pushed to the next day. Any ideas on how to deal with this sort of thing? And that's from Ralph. Now, this is actually something that I see often, and I also get tasks very similar to this, where they're not going to be fixed or completed on any given day and just need to roll over to the next day. So that's what I'm going to show you this week. Now, before we go any further, if you do get any value from this episode, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks and news on using Todoist, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me take you into my Todoist now and I'm going to show you how and that's it, the key word there, I would deal with this kind of task. Okay, so here we are, and I've recreated something along the lines of what Ralph was asking about. So here I have 4 typical tasks that an engineer, particularly a software engineer, is likely to receive during the day. Now, I should point out that I am not a software engineer, so a lot of this is just guessing and from some of the things that software engineers have told me when I have been speaking with them. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. First up, we've got one of these exact problems that Ralph was talking about. This is a software bug that is not going to be fixed in just a few minutes. This is going to take a number of days and probably going to involve a number of people. So what we need to do first is to collect the original task, the task as it would come in to my inbox. So I've got work on Universal Export CRM software problem. Now, it could be that there's a lot of issues here involving a lot of people, but let's try and keep this as simple as possible for now. So in this particular example, what I would do if you're using the time sector system, this is obviously going to be an urgent task. So I'm going to open up the task and schedule that, and I'm probably going to get it started today. So let's get that started today, and it would go into my this week project. So that's in there now, and that's now going to come up in my today list. Now, I didn't flag it, so it's going to come down at the bottom. Let's make this a little bit easier to find. Let's flag this. Let's say it's an urgent task. So this is now right up at the top. So we've got it right here. And that means I've now got 4 objectives for the day. So let's say I've done that one and I'm doing that right now. And I did my exercise this morning. So there we go. Breathe easier. We've got just the 2 objectives. So this is an important one that I need to do. Now, as I'm working on it, and it gets to 6 o'clock in the evening, and there's a lot more work to do. I need to continue working on this project. Now, the thing is, you have a couple of options. If you are one of those people who does monitor their karma points, like here, then you probably don't want to delete the task at all because that would just affect your karma points. So open up the task, and what I normally do here is I'm going to change the verb in a sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to continue working on Universal Export CRM software program. I'm then going to switch it over to tomorrow. Let's say I am one of these very hard-working, almost workaholic type of engineers, and I know that this has got to be fixed by Monday, so I'm just going to shift that across till tomorrow. I'm going to save it. Now, one of the things that is, this is an urgent task, so it's already flagged red. I'm not going to change that, and obviously it's still this week, so that gets saved. It's done. It's done for today, and I can now go home knowing that that's going to come up as an objective tomorrow. So that's what I do with those kind of tasks. Tasks that I cannot complete in a single day, And if I haven't already set it up as a recurring task, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the start of the task to continue working on. That's going to tell me exactly what I need to do. Now, here's another one. Talk to Liz about UE's CRM problem. So Universal Export, let's just say. CRM problem. So this is linked to the previous task. Now, I grabbed this and thought I do need to talk to Liz about it. So as I see this, I'm going to think, okay, that's something else that I need to do. So I'm just going to go in there, and yeah, this is not like perfect. I wish there was a way of doing this, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the task, copy it. I'm then going to go back to because I've got it upcoming, so I can have a look at that. And let's go down to tomorrow, continue working. Let's open up this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add that to the subtask like this, and it's just going to be added in there. Now the thing is, I'm going to see that, and as you see, when I close this task, and if you look at it, it's pretty obvious I've now got, if you zoom in there, you can see it's obvious that I've got a subtask in there. I can see that. So I don't need to add a date to the subtask because it's an obvious indicator when I see that, oh, I've got to talk to Liz about this, and it's in there. I'm already working on it. I don't need to add another date. I don't need to add that complexity. I don't need to see 2 extra tasks. I will see that when this comes up tomorrow, that it's got a subtask. It's just half a second to open up the task and say, oh yeah, I need to talk to Liz about that. The beauty of that is once I've talked to Liz, if I check it off, that does not disappear. I know now that I've talked to Liz. So if, say, I take Sunday off and I come back to it on Monday, I've had hundreds of other emergencies to deal with. All I have to do is open this task and I can say, oh yeah, I did speak to Liz about that. Let's see what she has to say. So that's how I deal with that one. So we've got 2 down now. So we can now remove that. Now, again, if you're a Karma Points person, you haven't technically done this task, so you would go into here and you would delete the task. If you're not into the Karma Points, then you can just check it off. Okay, we've got another one here, which is call Fernanda at Zorin Corp re her bug report. Now, this is an interesting one because what I've done here is when I added the task, I add the date that I was asked to do this. So in this case, her bug report was reported on Thursday, the 4th of February. Now, at the time of recording, that was yesterday. So in this case, let's say, okay, I'm calling Fernanda now. I am going to start a note in Evernote, and I'm going to make my notes right here. So 5th of February 2021, telecom with Fernanda, Zorin Corporation. So bug reported Thursday, 4th of February at 16:45 through our bug reporting system. Client calendar, so I've called her. Client calendar while open. Sales teams cannot add new appointments, blah, blah, blah. So the next actions here. So when I finish the call, I type in the next actions, or I do it during the call. All I need to do now is just copy those, Command C, and I can now go into here, add task, paste, and it's going to say, do you want to add 3 tasks? Yes, I do. So I'm going to add those tasks in there. So now I've got all these here. Now, the thing is, these are all 3 tasks related to the original task of calling Fernanda at Zorin Corp bug. So what do I really want to do here? Well, what I would probably do is I would open up this, I would add a subtask, I would hit Command V, and then I would actually add them in here. So these tasks are now in here. So they're here. And I'm going to do here is, again, we go back to work on, because I don't need to call Fernanda anymore. So work on Zorin Corp bug report. So I can remove that. Like that, Thursday, 4th of February. I'm going to keep in there, but because that's, to me, that's urgent because we need to deal with that very quickly. I would just change that. I would put the exclamation marks either side of the date. That highlights the date for me. Save that, and you'll see that this is now highlighted, is bolded. And in here, again, I've got my 3 tasks related to the follow-up. So again, rather than having all these tasks here, which I'll just remove now because I don't need to do them, I have now a task in here. So the real question I have to do is, when am I going to do this? So again, I'm going to click on that. That needs to be done tomorrow. So I'm going to click on tomorrow. It's done, and that's it. It's gone. It's not gone from my, it's not gone from my inbox, but then I can just drag it over to this week and it will come up tomorrow. The final one is investigate Quantum's crash report. I'm very similar to calling Fernanda. if I need to call Dominic Green, I will call him and I will create a note like I did in here. So I actually have a note. Now, by the way, some people have always asked me in this, when you're actually doing this, what do you do with these? Well, usually because once they're in Todoist, all I do is I highlight them and I go up to here and I just put a line through them. Now, I do that because that tells me I've moved them over to Todoist. This is my code, if you like, to say they've been moved to Todoist. I don't want to remove them because this is like my master task list, if you like. It says, okay, these are being dealt with, but this is just my code. You may have your own code for dealing with this. And so that's essentially how I do that kind of thing. Now, again, investigate Quantum's crash report. Contact Dominic Green again. So this one is just a case of just investigating the crash report. So what am I going to do with this? Well, all I need to do again is just schedule. When am I going to do it? So I'm just going to move that. So let's do that tomorrow because I'm going to be working tomorrow, obviously. And again, I'm just going to move that into this week. The only question I have now is how important that is. I said, well, it needs to be done in the morning. So that's done. And that's it. That's how I manage those kind of tasks that Ralph asked about. So we go back to my upcoming here and we go down. So we've got the tasks right here that need doing. So I'm going to continue working on the Universal Export CRM because I started working on it today. Once I open that up, I know that I've spoken to Liz. So that's going to be my little reminder for that. Go down here and I've got Investigate Quantum's Crash Report. That's all done. That's all set up for tomorrow. And so this is how essentially you get your task. I didn't actually set a flag for that. That needs doing tomorrow. So I'm going to put that as a priority 2. And these are now the subtasks that came from the call that I had with Fernanda. Now, the other thing here is if you wish, and sometimes I will do this, is I can go to this note and I can copy share. And I'm going to click the shareable link. So I'm going to enable the shareable link in Evernote. Now, it doesn't matter. You can do this in other notes apps. It just so happens that I use Evernote. So copy the link. There we go. Evernote link is copied. And then what I can do here is I can go into here. I can type Command V. So I'm going to paste the, oops, wrong place. Let's just remove that. Sorry, I got the wrong place. Then just click. There we go. Remove that. Oh, this is an issue I have when working on the web with Todoist. I have to do it the hard way. So let's just remove that link. It's a very, very long link. And don't worry, if I'm showing, those of you worried that I'm showing a link, I'm not worried because this is my demo account. By all means, if you wish to contact me through my demo account, I only delete whatever you send me. So once you pasted that in there, you put this in brackets like I'm just about to do here. Let's put that in brackets, click save. And now I have a clickable link which will take me directly to that note whenever I need to. Now this is my note. So I just click on that. This is going to open up in Safari, which is not my actual, where my Evernote is logged in. But you can see that I've got quick access to my actual note. Now I actually use a different one here normally because I actually use Real. That's my demo account. But anyway, you get the idea. You can actually create links that's going to take you directly to your task. So there you go. That's how I would deal with the kind of problem that Ralph had asked for there. It's really quite simple, really. You just have to kind of think about when you really want to see these tasks and when are you going to be working on them. I hope that's given you a lot of food for thought. I hope it's given you some ideas about how you can manage your own tasks. And it just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Hello, thank you very much for watching my videos. Now I have something exciting to tell you about. Recently I have developed a brand new time management system. It's a system designed to manage your time in the 21st century. The world has changed a lot over the last 20 years. In fact, it's actually changed a lot this year. And what we need now is a system, a time management system that is very easy to use, easy to maintain, so that you can spend more of your time doing the work. And that's what the time sector system is all about. It's going to change your whole belief system about the way a time management system should work, because this focuses on when you are going to do the task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, or how urgent something is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. And that's what this system is built around, getting your work done so you can spend more of your time doing the things that you want to do. I hope you join me in this course. The full details of the course are in the show notes below, so please join me, and thank you very much for watching this brief video.